Hang on, are we live?
Hi. Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Taya Pavlova, and it's Foundational Talks. And I'd like to introduce you to with Rachael O'Brien. Hi.
Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, welcome to the world.
Yeah. Good
Welcome
morning.
to the world.
I'm so grateful for you that you agree to come to my show, Foundational Talks. And can you talk more about yourself, you want?
Oh, wow. Of course. Where do I begin? What would you like to know? What would you like to know?
Where do you live?
I've just moved to the Netherlands. And I've just moved here. I'm here like 3.5 weeks today. That's where I live. And it was a choice. I was looking at where I'd like to live, and I knew I wasn't happy in the UK. I came from the UK. And, you know, as we do, we ask a question if we're looking to change something. I mean, that's the main foundational tool, you know. And I was like, where would I like to live? And what popped was the Netherlands. So here I am. 3 weeks in.
Great. Can you say your life before Access? Did your life was your life the same? Did your life have so many lightness before Access?
It's so funny. I'm probably going to start crying because I didn't ever think that I could be this happy. I woke up this morning and I was singing. Harry Styles has a song and it's watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high. So I was
foundational songs.
Exactly. And I was just like singing and lying in my bed and just having so much gratitude for. I knew I was going to be talking to you. I had massive depression. I used to wake up. I used to wake up not knowing how to deal with my day. I didn't know. I had a lot going on with my body. I was very sick before I came to Access. I had really destroyed myself with judgment. It's amazing. It's amazing. The girl that I was before Access, I would say the source of my reality was the people that I grew up with. I grew up with very abusive. I had sexual abuse. I had physical abuse. I had it was just crazy. And I'm not laughing at that. I'm just saying that 8 years ago, I believed that I was all that insanity. You know, I believed that. And the way I look at it now is that was everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions were the source of my body, of my physical reality, of my financial reality, of my business reality. So my point of view is I was very fucked up. There was something very, very wrong about me.
And what happened when you chose to go another way, different way?
Yeah, I got my bars run. My sister lives in the States. I have one sister. Well, I have other. I've now found out that I have loads of other siblings, but they're from other relationships that my father had. But I have one sister that I grew up with, and she lives in Chapel Hill in North Carolina. A beautiful place in the world. Very, very smart girl. And she had said to me, she called me up and she said, "Hey, there's this thing called Access Bars, and it's coming to Ireland, and it's coming to a place called Cork. I really get this sense to go." Okay. So when my sister says to go something, I go. you know. You have to know when to follow, and you have to know when to lead. Gary Douglas always says this. So I went off and I got my bars run, and there was a little girl who was 8 years of age, and she had blonde hair. Is a friend of mine, a now friend, her daughter, and she was standing while I was getting my bars run, and the whole time I was getting my bars run, there was just tears streaming down my face. You know, I just couldn't stop it, and they were just pouring and pouring and pouring, and you know, I just left it. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't control it. And when I got up off the table, there was this sense of, you know, if you walk into a forest or you come by a lake, and you know, instantly you're like, you know, that you're like, yeah, like a lake in Switzerland and Austria, and you're just like, whoa, I'm Ireland. Yeah. So I got my bars run twice that night. It was a weekend conference. I went back Saturday morning. I got my bars run 3 times. Okay. They do 20-minute sessions, taster sessions. I went back again on Sunday, and something changed. Something changed, and I allowed something to change. I was at the point where I tried to kill myself a couple of years earlier. And so I was at the point where I didn't care what it was, that something had to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the lady, Rika Zinnerman, she's no longer a facilitator, said, I'm doing bars and foundation the next weekend in Dublin. I lived in the second capital city, which is South, beautiful place. If ever you get to go to Ireland, there's this beautiful county called Cork, and there's beaches and mountains. Cold, bring a sweater. And so this was 2.5 hour drive, and I went home. I was married, and I said to my guy, I said, hey, I've got to do this, you know. And he said, well, you know, one thing I know about you, if you got to do something, just go do it. So I went off and did bars foundation. I barely had the money. I had 1,450 euro in my bank account, and I went and I paid for foundation and bars. And that time you do foundation. I don't know if you know this. There was foundation for 2 days, and then there was level 1. Okay. So I had the idea that I'd only stay for foundation, but the night of level 1, I actually used to have post-traumatic stress seizures, and I had my last seizure. Never ever had a seizure again since that was 2012 March. Never had a seizure ever again. Imagine that. And I remember coming out of that foundation, 2 things I'd like you to tell you, because it's just such a beautiful story. I probably don't tell it often enough. One was I was walking across the street in Dublin. Dublin's a beautiful city. And a guy that I knew, who was a friend for years, we'd done lots of stuff together, other work, went to give me a hug. And usually if a guy touched my body, I still had an autoresponder of contraction. And when he gave me a hug, I melted. I fell back into his body. I leaned in. And then my head caught up with my body, and I was like, I'm physically changed. I'm physiologically different. And I remember I had done a lot of work to get this abuse, this sexual abuse, this, you know, this contraction, this victimhood. I really was looking to change this. And so then right? MTVSS was the process. Walking across.
I have it goosebumps all my body. Yes.
And immediately I went I have to get this work out to the world. I've got it. If this has changed this, remember I had done therapy, I had done workshops in Canada, I trained as a therapist. So I said, I have to get this out to the world. You know, I have to go teach this and train in this. And I'm so grateful that you're asking me this, because I don't talk about this, you know, much anymore.
Welcome.
And so I was driving home to Cork in my car, and my guy called me, and he was like, hey, hey, Rach. And I was like, hi. And he was like, well, I've good news for you. And I said, tell me. We had spoken earlier and we'd like €50 in our bank account until we both got paid on Friday. I actually wasn't working, he was working until he got paid. Remember, I had 3 children, a mortgage, you know, I had all these responsibilities. And but it just shows me now how much I did trust. You know what I mean? I did actually trust. And he said, we just got a check for €1,450. He said, off the Irish revenue, we were due a rebate. How does it get any better than that? And the next weekend, I went and did a bars class in Belfast, and then I went and found someone to come and do a bars class, and I 3 weekends, and 6 weeks later, I did my first bars class, maybe 5 weeks later. So it was just, for me, I had found what I was looking for.
It's amazing. It's like beyond words.
It is. It is.
Everything that you said, because my body, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much for asking, because I couldn't have said this in words before, but now I can recognize, if you're out there, please recognize that if anything in your life isn't ease, you're not in your reality. You have a capacity that you haven't acknowledged. So I wouldn't have been able to put that into words, Tanya, that other people's points of views, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, their insanities were the source of my reality and how I created my life. And that's what the problem was. And the possibility was, all I had to choose was to allow consciousness into my life, and to allow consciousness be the source at which I would live from.
What's your favorite tools? What can you advise for people to not to buy all this stuff, all these emotions, feelings?
Upset, heaviness, solidity, density, victimhood, crying. I would say, for me, the tool that I grabbed to, and Gary Douglas used to laugh at me, my tool, and it was, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And I would say this, and so this is what I would do, Tanya, right?
Yeah, it's only what you do.
I had a studio, and I would write on the wall, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. I actually got a girl out to paint it on the wall. So I would walk in and I would say, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. What a crock of shite. All of life. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Have you seen my life? Have you seen my children? Have you seen this? Have you? All of life comes to me with ease and joy. So
how to decide how did you decide to become certified facilitator, and when did you
I had brought a facilitator to Ireland, Leeson Bankston. Hey Leeson, if you're watching this. And Leeson had come to do a foundation probably April 2013. I did my Shannon had come to Ireland in 2012 August, and I had the idea 2012. I'd been teaching bars classes at that stage, and actively teaching bars classes and facelift classes, and with a very good friend of mine, Amy Shine, because we were friends before Access, and Paul Carney, we were friends before Access. Leeson had come, and I had said to Leeson, I was in class, I'd like to be a facilitator. Okay, and she said, what? And I said, I'd like to be a facilitator. And she was like, you might actually say it so that we can actually hear you, you know? And I said, I'd really love to be an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. And she was like, well, why not? And I was like, well, I don't even like, I don't even know how I'm gonna create that. The how.
Mhm.
Instead of consciousness, will you be the source that allows me to know that I can choose anything? And so I started on my prereqs. This is so funny. I started an envelope. We deal in a lot of cash in Ireland. There's not so much now, but at the time, Ireland deals in a lot of cash. It's not like Denmark or the Netherlands where everything is card. It's becoming it now. So I started this envelope in my kitchen. Remember, I had now broke up. I'd come away from my marriage that wasn't working, and my children were like, "Yay! Thank God you guys are no longer together," because we were like two idiots hanging out together. Got married when I was 21. And we're very, very close today. So I started this envelope. And I would put, every time I do a class, session, I put most of it in, and I take what I require to live. And I had a very good friend of mine. Her name was Lisa Egan. Her mother is Irish. No, her father's Mexican. Her mother's half Irish, born in America. And we had met in Access. And Lisa has said to me, "You've got to become a facilitator. You're one of the most caring people I know, and I know that you can offer the world something greater." And I would be like, "Oh, whatever." Da, da, da. And Lisa would say, "You have to become a facilitator," and I'd go again. And she's dead now. She's hello, my lovely friend. So she was the one who kept pushing me and poking me. And so I went to facilitator training. I opened that envelope one day and there was 10 grand in it. I was like, whoa, okay, how did I create that? This is so cool. Total magic. Like I'm like a little leprechaun. I'm one of these magicians, in that if I'm not doing magic, I can create a lot of shit. I know that applies to no one else. So I have to be aware of that one. And so went off to facilitators and just started. I still had, at that stage, my kids now are 27, 22, 21. At that time they were, I think, like 19. Oh, 14 and 15, my youngest daughter would have done a lot of access with me. And I just started afresh, pressed the reset button and started choosing and started living and started creating. Yeah.
I have too little mouth because I want to smile and it's not so big because I know it's an amazing space of kindness. Rachel, thank you so much to be here on this world. Yeah, I don't have any words and any questions because I I listen to you, and yeah, thank you so much. And
what I would like to say to people, DVDs.
Sorry, I laugh that all my guests read my question from my head. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, and what Tanya is talking about is that no one had ever told me that I was a healer to the extent that I was. You know what I mean? I genuinely believed that I was all these thoughts, these emotions, these upsets. You know what I mean? And I genuinely believed that was me. And I suppose if you're watching this, please, like, just take a moment to know that none of that is you. Absolutely none of that is yours. Diva said something yesterday. DVD is Access Consciousness Facilitator, X-Men Facilitator. You cannot feel what you are. You can only feel what you are not.
Yeah. I wrote it on my copybook too from yesterday.
And for me, if you'd have said that to me in 2012, I still wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have still got that because I still believe that all this was mine. Just the beautiful thing about Access is, if you have a place where you've no choice in your life, just keep going, keep getting your bars run. uh, all the no choice universes and all the thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and emotions that you have made the source of your living. And if you keep going, no matter what it takes, one of the things that I did say when I became a facilitator is I'll give this 15 years. I will put 15 years into this. And if it doesn't work, then I'll give up. Okay. And I think the reason I said that to myself was that I was willing to give myself that amount of time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're watching this, give yourself 15 years. And if your life doesn't get better, go away then.
Rachel, when your nearest foundation class?
Oh, it's so funny because I've just moved to the Netherlands and we put up one last week, and it was a quick choice. It's in Friday the 31st, so it's a week from Friday. Come, people come, people come, people come. I'm not taking this one online. It's a live foundation. I'm just looking forward to doing a live class, you know. I love touching bodies and changing lives. So yeah, it's July 31st. Yeah.
Okay, guys, if somebody can to go to the Netherlands, welcome. We are going to do online, maybe a foundation, because we have closed borders yet.
Oh, are you still closed borders in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool, awesome. Are you going to do a foundation soon?
No. Are you going to do online foundation? Your foundation?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that in August. I know that the team that I work with are like, can we do one more online foundation so people around the world can actually can be with you? And you know, maybe your question is the invitation for me to take this foundation online because it's super light. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. If you want to create something, you can come to me and we can create something more.
Thank you for that, because I've been asking for a contact to show up in Russia, because I know I bring something very different. We all bring different energies to the world. We all open doors, and I would like everyone on to know that I'm now a Joy business facilitator, and last year my business generated 150,000. And when I first came to Access, my monthly income was 600 euro. So yeah, some people I see use the tools of All of Life with Ease, Joy and Glory. They use it for some aspects of their life, and they're not really willing to allow consciousness into their financial reality and their business reality. And one of my targets in the world is that everyone can have peace and ease with their body. You don't have to be in an environment that is stressful for you. You know, you can actually have peace and ease with your body. And then the other one is nobody has to have a money problem. I grew up in a lot of lack and a lot of loss. Allow consciousness to gift to you. Allow it into every aspect of your life. You've got to be willing to let it in. And nobody has to have a money problem. And the third part, anyone can do business. I mean, I truly believed I didn't have a clue with business, but what you guys got to get is, in this reality, Dane said it, the source of the creation of business right now on our planet is judgment. And for me, I see us generating business from awareness, from what we know, from this capacity to be in communion with business. There's a new reality here, folks. And what do you know from that new reality? So anyone can do business from awareness. And I would love, one of my legacies that I would really like to leave this planet is that we actually have a dominant energy of business done from awareness instead of judgment, and so that we can actually be the catalyst for change in this area.
And what else is possible now?
Totally.
Yeah. My body vibrates all the time when we are talking. Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much for this gift, Rachel. And thank you guys that you are watching this now or later. and welcome to Foundation with Rachael. Thank you so much.
And
Mhm.
and Tanya, I just want to say, you have this generosity of spirit, this spirit of making other people's lives greater by who you are. Like, just thank you for being that, because that's what I asked for. I don't want to live in a world where it's all about me and what I can get and what I have to give to get. I would like to live in a world where we actually are willing to contribute our greatness to other people, and when we get paid, woohoo! But your willingness to actually to make things greater and to allow consciousness as the source for the creation of life and living on this planet blows my mind. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I will cry now.
It's true.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's true. Isn't she wonderful bringing these talks to you? How does it get any better than that?
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Receive,
thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rachael. Thank you, guys. See you next week on Foundational Talks. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.